What is up, guys, and welcome back to Drone X. Now it's been a while, but today we're taking a look at the Mobula7 Tiny Whoop style racing drone. Now this drone has been making a lot of noise lately, and I was really intrigued on trying it out because I've seen a lot of cool stuff with this. For instance, it's a 2S drone, although it's super lightweight, so that might actually be the perfect drone to try to do some more freestyle stuff, but on a small area. Now in this review I won't really go into the specs too in depth because I guess most of you guys already know most of that stuff. I'll more focus on my impressions. So I have actually already opened this package where like a manual and a few stickers and some peripherals here, but let's focus on the important stuff. So this is the quad, of course. Let's put that aside, and here you also get this really nice charger, and this is if you get the version with the extra batteries and stuff. Otherwise, if you don't get that version, you will only get a charger that charges one battery. So if you ask me, definitely get this package with extra batteries and a charger that charges 6 at a time. So you also get these 2 batteries as well as 2 batteries on the drone. Now, first of all, I find this very interesting is what I find interesting is that these batteries are actually different, which is kind of strange. Now, they both say Happy Model on them, but this one just seems to have like a sticker with Happy Model, so I guess this is like some other brand they buy in or something. This seems more legit, to be honest. Looking at them, this one also says high volt 3.8, but high volt isn't really 3.8 volts, so I don't know what's going on with that one. However, this one seems a bit better with, and it actually says high volt 4.3.5, 4.35, sorry, and that's really nice. So these batteries, at least, hopefully these 2 also, are actually high volt, and you can charge high volt batteries with this charger just by switching the switches here. So let's take a look at the quad. So this is what the quad looks like. It's actually extremely lightweight, very comparable to, it feels like you're holding like the H8 or something like that. So it's really strange to see this brushless quad with OSD, with Betaflight, and with all of these crazy features, but in the weight and form factor of a brushed quad. So right off the bat, it looks kind of nice. You can swivel the camera like this, which is actually really nice. I didn't really expect that from a drone like this, but nevertheless it's nice. However, I have seen people having trouble with that the camera hits the flight controller here, so you might want to put some tape in between there. So to get it set up, you just plug in the battery and there's a little bind button inside here. I got the version that you can with the FlySky receiver, and what's really nice about this one is that you can actually bind it to the Turnkey Evolution. And if you know me, then you know that I love that radio. And if you're interested in that radio, just check out my review. I'll have a card right here. So this drone can run on 1 or 2S. Now you can see that it has 2 plugs here in the bottom, and the way they made that, it's quite interesting. So you take 2 of these batteries, and then you connect them each to 1 plug, and that way they are connected in series and then make up for a higher voltage. And then you use this little 3D printed plastic piece to hold both batteries. Now you can run this quad on a 1S battery, and then you just need a little dongle that they included. So then you just use this one, plug it in one end, and then plug the battery in the other end. What's quite interesting though is that this battery holder here on the bottom is actually larger than the batteries included, and that's because this one has to fit this little adapter here. So that means that if you want to run this on 1S, for instance, if you're running this a lot inside, then you might want to get a thicker battery with more that can take more charge. Otherwise, there's not really that much to say. The frame feels pretty nice. It's pretty flexy, so we'll see how it holds up. I reckon that it won't hold up that long because, well, this is a really powerful quad, but only time will tell, I guess. Okay, So as you can see, it's actually configured with full motor stop, which is kind of odd for a brushless model, but I guess it's fair because it's one of these, because it's meant to fly indoors a lot, and I guess it's safer for new pilots. But normally, when you arm the quad, the motors should start spinning. Let's go for a spin. Okay, so we can... Okay, it feels quite nice so far. Definitely has a bit of power, but it has way too stiff controls though. Let's try to do, whoa, future Aquair, and the actual reason why this happened was because I had the throttle at 0%, and because the motor stop was on, the motor just completely stopped spinning. So if you want to do acro like this, definitely turn off the motor stop. I will have more tips like this in my next video, so definitely check that one out. Okay, that was supposed to be just one roll. It kind of completely flipped out on me. Let's do some exploring. The quad feels nice. It's very nimble and snappy. It does respond very well to the stick movements. Also have to keep my battery in check. I don't know how much flight time I'll actually have. I don't want to like burn the batteries the first thing I do. Let's go a bit higher and do a dive. Okay, it is definitely a bit wobbly on the dives. You can see that it doesn't have the same stability as a 5-inch. It's also quite quiet. I don't really hear it that much. Okay, so flying that quad was really fun, and now let me tell you a bit of my first impressions of this quad. First of all, I think it's a really interesting craft. It really does a lot of things that I want a quad to do. I've been looking for a quad like this for quite a while, a quad that you can use inside, but that isn't all that boring. I've tried a lot of brushed quads and they all seem to lack in power, and I know that it's fine to fly like fast, you don't really need that much power to fly fast, but I want to do a bit of acro even inside, and I think that this quad is really interesting because it really solves that problem. Here you have the power, the question is rather, do you really want to use all of that power? And that's really the way you want it to be. Now secondly, what's really interesting about this quad is because it is so powerful, you can actually fly it outside and have a really good time. Now, it's not gonna be as fun as flying a 5-inch, of course, and it's not gonna perform like a 5-inch. A 5-inch is very stable, and a 5-inch has a lot more power still compared to its weight. But the thing is with this quad is you will fly it a lot more often, I think. I wouldn't ever fly my 5-inch in the place that you saw that flight footage because, well, there isn't nearly enough space there. And to be honest, for me to fly my 5-inch here near my apartment, I have to walk a really long way because I live right in the city and there just isn't any space to fly my 5-inch quad. It just isn't possible. But with this one, I can fly pretty much everywhere. It's really easy to find spots where this one will be fun to fly, and it's pretty unintrusive with a low sound, and it doesn't really hurt anyone, even in worst case scenario if you would hit something or someone, like a window or so. So that makes this one really interesting. So I have been trying to build small quads like this with brushless motors and everything super lightweight, but the thing is I've never got them quite this good. And I think what's very interesting about this quad is that I wouldn't really change all that much on this one even if I could, so I don't really see the point of building your own at this point. This one has just such a great price and such great components that it's really just a really great buy overall. Now, if there were one thing that I would change just right off the bat, it's definitely the camera. The camera looked quite crappy. It got quite dark when pitching down against the ground, and this is on a cloud, and this was on a cloudy day, so I can imagine how it would be on a day with harsh sun. So the camera is a bit mediocre, but at the same time it's really small. These small cameras are quite crappy, so it's hard to find a camera that will be much better in this form factor, and really you can switch out the camera if you want to, so I wouldn't really use that as an argument to build your own. Then I would rather just get this one and switch out the camera. And then I guess only time will tell how good these motors and ESCs and stuff really are. We'll see what breaks first. So I guess that was a bit of the thoughts I had on this quad, and so far it's looking really nice. I had a few crashes with it already, but it hasn't taken any sort of wear at all, so that's really good. And it felt really nice to fly, although air mode is definitely a must if you have this one. But I guess in the next video I'll have a video about all the best settings and configuration to make this fly awesome. So stay tuned for that video, and then I'll have like a ton of videos with fly footage and whatever. We'll see what I come up with. But until next time, I'll see you in the next one.